Hi everyone, this is Rachel Deraza, and I'm down to my last report, and this is module number 17, Music for Development. And I am going to talk about two topics for my report. And my topic is divided into two groups. The first one is the role of music in AIDS communication in Tanzania, and the second part will be local revolutionaries promote social change through their music by Emily Klingman. So let's get started and talk about all of these topic right now. Right. So music and the society. Music is an integral part of the society, or our human culture, serving as a language that transcends geographical, linguistic, and even cultural barriers. Aside from entertainment, music influences emotional expression. Right, I know that you agree with me on that. Social cohesion, cultural identity, and even economic development. So I have here, according to Peralta in 2021, music has the power to connect with and influence people in a way that feels fundamentally different from other forms of communication. And this is really very true when we listen to music. And also, an example of how music was used in communication is seen in Tanzania. Tanzania is an East African country bordering the Indian Ocean. So, from our source here, I quote, local narratives concerning AIDS are often utilized in popular songs and constitute rich sources of contextual information about the epidemic. You can see from the lyrics, the message about AIDS, how they want people to know about it, respect the people who are suffering from it. Messages about AIDS can be delivered via a channel such as music, being contextually appropriate and culturally engaging. And this form of media presents the greatest opportunity for wide dissemination because a lot of people would love to listen to music. So it wasn't very difficult to tell them the message that they want people to know by putting the message into the lyrics, because it's a form of communication that can reach in a very wide range. And then using popular musicians to convey HIV prevention message is a way to involve constituents from the target group, which promotes participation, ensuring the linguistic and social cultural dimensions of relevance are met, and reducing the cultural distance between the message and the recipient. So the music in Kilimanjaro region here, music and musicians in Tanzania reflect and potentially shape AIDS discourse. Three broad recurrent themes addressed in their songs. It talks about AIDS metaphors, it talks about AIDS stigma, and it talks about HIV prevention message. They see music as a catalyst for change. Music constitutes a pre existing mode of communication that is favored by the Tanzanians. They love listening to music, so this is a very good idea to put their message in, in music. Musicians may be well positioned to deliver information in a familiar manner that generates interest in the message and establishes source credibility. And I would like to show to you this musician, Philly Bongoli Lataya. He's an example of a musician in Africa who really became famous in using music for communication about AIDS. And he was a Ugandan musician who was the first prominent Ugandan to give a human face to AIDS, to HIV and AIDS. He became a national hero because he was the first Ugandan to declare that he was HIV positive. That was in 1988 when HIV still carried a lot of stigma. And during his remaining days before dying of AIDS, actually, he died in 1989, just a year after he found out that he was HIV positive. Before dying of AIDS, Lutaya spent his remaining time writing songs about his battle with AIDS, releasing his last album Alone and Frightened, including his famous song There Alone. And I'm going to let you listen to his song. Maybe we're not going to be finishing it, but at least you'll be able to have the idea on how they present that song and how they present the message of AIDS in his song. So, let me see.
Well, I wanted to put something down, something musical, artistic, about my feelings and about the feelings of other, what I thought were the feelings of other AIDS patients. The feeling of helplessness, the feeling of loneliness. I wanted to express what I felt within myself.
And now this is his song entitled Alone.
Out there somewhere, alone and frightened. Oh, the darkness, the days are long. Life in hiding, now more making new contact. No more loving arms thrown around my neck.
Take my hand now, I'm kind of lonely. Give me love, give me hope. Don't desert me, don't reject me. All I need is love and understanding.
Today it's me.
All right, so I would like to cut that one, but you can listen to the whole song in YouTube also. And I just had here the chorus of the song, and I'm just gonna read it to everyone. Today it's me, tomorrow someone else. You've got to stand up and fight. We'll shed a light in the fight against AIDS. Let's come out. Let's come on out. Let's stand together and fight AIDS. In times of joy, in times of sorrow, let's take a stand and fight on the end. With open hearts, let's stand out and speak out to the world. We'll save some lives, save the children of the world. So the message was really clear as it was already in the lyrics of his song alone. Right. And let's go. It's kind of emotional in that part. All right, let's go to local revolutionaries promote social change through their music by Emily Klingman. So aside from Philly Lutaya that I showed to you a while ago, there are other local revolutionaries who also promote social change and used music to do that. And one of well-known revolutionaries is Jamal Skinner, also known as Ras Official. He is the front man for the reggae band Dubskin. Skinner takes a no holds barred approach to calling for social reformation, and this is what he said during his one of his interviews. A lot of bands are writing songs for the pleasure of having fun, but I feel like there's a responsibility we have as musicians to talk about things that are going on around the world and even in our own backyard. We can't sit back any longer and hope for things to become better. So, like Lataya a while ago, he also released an album in 2011 entitled Release from Fear. And this addresses the mental bondage that people can get caught up as a result of years of experiencing and even witnessing a social barriers and oppression. So he was famous with the song Lifts Me Up, and it talks about where any system that is trying to take you down, there is something greater that lifts you up. And yes, you can always listen to that song, but I have here some of the lines from the song, and it says, and even when they want to take me down, Jah lifts me up. No matter if they try to break me down, Jah lifts me up. Don't ever let the devil take your ground. Jah lifts you up. So the message is about oppression and not losing hope. And he was really aiming for an equal treatment between the blacks and the whites. All right. So I think that should be it. Let me sum up my report. Music is a catalyst for social change. Music has the ability to reflect societal values and inspire collective actions. Music is used for development communication work because it has rich sources of contextual information about the issues, and this media also presents the greatest opportunity for wide dissemination. Musicians are potential opinion leaders and agents for social change. And I am showing here also the sources of my report, and these are my questions. The first one, how can social media platforms strengthen the impact of music for development communication? And then the second one is, what potential challenges might arise when utilizing music for development communication across diverse cultural contexts? And give only one example for that. Thank you so much for listening to my report, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments on this topic. Have a good day. Goodbye.